As I'm in this season of like rebuilding my confidence up, because life be doing its ones and twos, you know, I decided it would be cool to share a video based off of my life experiences of me being confident and where I lost the confidence. You get what I'm saying? So, just to give you a little like backstory so that you understand where I'm coming from. I know when people be talking, I like to know where they coming from, and they didn't just like, pull this out the sky somewhere. So, um, growing up, in my opinion, I feel like confidence is, you know, embedded in you and it starts at home for sure. So, by the grace of God, I had love in my family. And so I grew up with confidence, not saying that if you don't have love in your family, you can't still grow up and develop a sense of confidence. Sometimes it's just in you. You get what I'm saying? But I really give the credit to, my family for that. Growing up confident, I've been confident for a while, and then after like years of like being in relationships, and having like developed insecurities, and anxiety from certain situations and stuff like that, those things kind of like reduce your confidence a bit, you know, and just stuff happening in life, But one thing I can say is like deep down at the core of me, I still be pushing through. You get what I'm saying? So, right now, you know, this channel is a channel of transparency, of course. So, I did like kind of like I did kind of like lose a nice bit of confidence in myself. I'm not even gonna hold you. I never got hit rock bottom though. I thank God for that. But there have been times where I'm like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, and I never really used to feel like that. You get what I'm saying? But I'm breaking out of that this season, Recently, well, first I want to get started with the first pointer. I feel like the first thing to help you to regain confidence or just gain confidence in general, um, is to try new things. Try new things. Try things that you never tried before. Let me give you an example. I forget what year it was. I think it was back in 2020, 2021. I forget. But I randomly booked a trip to Miami by myself. I wanted to start off with a state because eventually I wanted to start traveling to other countries, and I still have that dream today. But I started with Miami because I'm a little familiar with. I'm more familiar with Miami than any other state because my family lived there. It was cool, picking out my own hotel room. Well, it wasn't a hotel. It was more so like a studio. I visited this cool like waffle ice cream place. Like, where else did I go? I went to like two dance classes. Like, I walked around. It was cool. I rented a car. You know what I'm saying? It was really cool trying something new by myself. It made me realize that I can rely on myself in far out places. It made me more enhanced, like safety wise, So try new things, like another thing too that really helped me with my confidence back in the day. If you look at I just mentioned this in my last video. If you look at my second to first video, my second video that I posted, um, I did like this small interview. It was called like Fat New York's Fashion Spotters or something like that, where I was just going around and I was spotting out people's outfits and which I really loved and adored. And I just interviewed them like, hey, this looks so nice. Can you give me a spin for the camera? And I asked them like, do you care to share like where you get your outfits from? So I thought that was really cool. That was me trying new things. I'm very much to myself. So just going up to random people and talking to them, that was different for me. But it did boost my confidence. You get what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, try new things, new experiences, try that salsa class, the dance class, go to that event, even if you got to go by yourself, sign yourself up for that show, perform, go out for that opportunity, try new things, stuff that's going to put you out there, You know, I call it throwing yourself in a shark tank, right? You either gonna get ate up or you're gonna learn how to swim with the sharks, right? And I think that's very important in life. I feel like it'll take you far. I feel like when it comes to regaining and gaining your confidence, never compare yourself. Oh my goodness. That's one thing I can say that I feel like I naturally strayed away from is just compare myself to somebody else. I said this in the last video. Where we are is where we are for a reason. Is I feel like it's dependent upon the work that you put in. In some cases, things are unfortunate in which you put in a lot of work and maybe it didn't work out, but I feel like that case is rare, right? If you put in a lot of work, something is going to pop off, right? It may not pop off the way you imagine, but it's going to pop off. You get what I'm saying? Another thing too is I feel like it's very important not to compare yourself to other people is because I was telling a friend this one time, you never know what they did to get to that spot. While you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be where they are, and I'm feeling down on myself because da 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 da. Some people be sucking D to get to the top, and that's just me being honest. You never know what people did to get to where they are. Some people are just blessed. Some people just work hard. Like it, you don't know. You get what I'm saying? And also too, focusing on someone else and comparing yourself to someone else, it derails your attention from yourself. You know what I'm saying? You could be focused on what you need to get done, what you need to do to enhance wherever you are in life, but because you're so focused on someone else and what they have and what you don't have, you're magnifying that negative, right? You're magnifying their good and you're magnifying your negative, right? So it's kind of like you're not benefiting yourself in no way, shape, or form when you're doing that. So I really recommend, right, not comparing yourself to others and just focusing on yourself. I think it's great to have inspiration. You know what I'm saying? I love my favorite thing to do is I like to view a person's drive. I love drive. That's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So I might look at someone and be inspired by their drive, right? Because, you know, you may have drive, I may have drive, but I'm going where I'm going and you going where you going, right? So I'm inspired by your drive. You feel me? Another thing that I think is really important where in a process of regaining your confidence or gaining your confidence is to embrace your flaws and your weaknesses while you work on them and magnify your strengths, right? I say embrace your flaws and your weaknesses is because we all have them. We all have them. Um, I don't know if the word embrace or accept your flaws and your weaknesses, right? While you work on improving them. If you don't focus on if you more so avoid your weaknesses and your flaws, you'll never be a you'll never improve in that area because you're avoidant of them. So I think that's really important. Um for example, a lot of people may walk around with a certain attitude or just something about themselves that they need to work on, but because they don't want to face that flaw um, or weaknesses that they know they have, you know what I'm saying, or it's just avoidant to that negative in you might get bigger, right? So let me give you an example. One time, one season of my life, I was going to the gym, right? And I was like, dang, like, I got a little thicker. I just started, and I'm like, listen, this belly just gonna have to be big. I know it sounds crazy, but that season, I actually lost a lot of weight, right? This was like a little bit after high school. Yeah, this was a little bit after high school. I was like, damn, like, you know, I got a little thicker. I didn't realize it. It may have been my freshman year. I don't remember, but I just remember thinking that way. And I remember saying, fuck it, like, I'm just going to embrace me being thick. And I know that I'm acknowledging it and I'm just going to work towards getting better. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's really important. And try not to avoid those flaws, you know? You don't got to make them the center of your world, but, some people too, I think another cool thing to do when I say embrace your flaws or just accept them is, hey, listen, mention you got them. A lot of people may be scared of like mentioning their flaws and stuff like that. But me personally, like, I'll tell you my flaws because we all got them. You get what I'm saying? And while I work to improve them, it makes me more comfortable in my skin, knowing that I'm not walking around trying to be like super perfect. You get what I'm saying? That reduces my anxiety. I feel like when you walk around trying to be like super perfect and stuff like that, that creates a world of anxiety because you're literally trying to hide your flaws. That's why I tell them, listen, this is happening and I need to work on it. I apologize. I apologize if, da 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 happens, but I'm working on it, period. So just accept your flaws, magnify your strengths, right? Don't be afraid to magnify your strengths. If you are a good talker, start a podcast. If you look good, model. If you a great thinker or whatever the case may be, I don't know, become a psychologist or a philosopher or a rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Embrace those strengths as well. Don't be afraid to embrace those strengths. I think that's important too. And the more you embrace those strengths, those grow even more, So that's my take on that. This is a good one. Don't try to stand on nobody to make yourself feel more confident, more beautiful, more better, more perfect. You get what I'm saying? Don't stand on nobody weaker than you to make yourself feel better. I think that's so important. I see a lot of people do that low key. I'm not even gonna hold you. We all have negative opinions about people, right? I know I do. We have negative opinions about people, and I feel like it's very important to be careful who you share that with. But and also too, it's the intent behind your sharing about your opinion about a negative person. Maybe you had a bad interaction, maybe they hurt you, maybe they disrespected you, so you might go to a family member and say, yo, this happened, da 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 da. Why you might want a different perspective. I feel like that's understandable. But if your intent is I want to be more better than this person, I want everybody to like me, I want everybody to love me, or I'm going to, just like what I said in the last video, I'm going to compete to show them I am better than, what I'm saying? I feel like standing on top of someone else kind of like taps into a weakness in you. It's kind of like you need someone else to stand on top of. What if you are out somewhere and you don't have nobody to stand on? How are you going to stand on your own? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me give you an example. If you are, I don't know, in a group, if you're in a group of people, right, and you see that they all like this one person, right, and you probably do some wicked shit to make them go against that one person. You get what I'm saying? One, that could backfire. Two, it don't last long. Three, everybody not falling for the okie doke. Everybody not gonna fall for that. You know what I'm saying? And people see through that sometimes. Most times. Eventually. They might not see it in the beginning, but later on they will. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's important not to stand on top of people who you deem as a little weaker than you to make yourself feel better or seem like the better pick or the better choice. I think it's so cool to genuinely connect with other people who are genuinely confident. Not nobody who like, yeah, I'm better than all these bitches in here. Not nobody like that, but somebody who really is confident too. You can feel that. I feel like you can feel that, you can sense that, and you know that. You get what I'm saying? Genuinely try to connect with them. I'm not saying on no forced stuff, but I'm just saying, like, if you see somebody who is just as down to earth to you, just as down to earth as you, instead of trying to be with the clique of mean girls, you know what I'm saying, who do want to stand on top of others to make themselves look better, go link with the down to earth person. They more so probably know how to stand alone. You get what I'm saying? I love those type of people who are genuinely confident. Sometimes you have genuinely confident people who are in a group too. That's okay as well. But you just got to have discernment, right? And you got to know what's what. I feel like I feel like genuinely connecting with people who are also confident boosts your confidence too. It's kind of like I believe in energy very much. If this person is confident in a genuine way and you're confident too, y'all could kind of like bounce off of each other and build each other up even more. You get what I'm saying? I think that's really cool. And I think that's why we're here on Earth. Okay, to build each other up. I know people might tell me, oh, you got rose colored lenses. But I really do believe that. I feel like the negatives inside of people stem from life. I feel like it stems from just like people who their upbringing, you know what I'm saying, and stuff that was instilled in them. And I feel like if that was never instilled in them, then it will probably be a little bit better. We probably have a couple of stragglers on the negative side, but for the most part, everybody wouldn't be out to try to hurt each other so much. So I think it's really important at the end of the day to connect with genuine souls. A lot of the times the people who are genuinely confident have really good hearts. That's what I noticed, so make sure you don't take advantage of those type of people or those type of natural connections, and you embrace them. Another cool thing too, that you can be intentional with, this is a personal thing. I really don't do this much, but I do want to start doing it. But just watching interviews of like people, it could be local artists, local business people. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be big, or they could be big. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, these celebrities, when they do their interviews, they'll tell you, yeah, I went through a season in my life where I was down. Da 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 da. Look at them now. Lady Gaga, she was bullied, got picked on. How you think they feel looking at her on a screen? She on the radio. What the? You know what I'm saying? I love knowing about other people who went through stuff and was able to come out of it and be on top. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really important too, because you could take a couple pointers from there, especially if you up and coming and whatever you doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to wrap this video up because I feel like I'm getting bit up. I'm not even going to hold you. I just flicked a little teeny tiny bug off me. Like I must be sweet or something. But yeah, these bugs is out here. Y'all have a wonderful day. It's okay to be confident too. That's another thing. Please don't confuse cockiness with confidence, because that shit be blowing my shit. I'm not even gonna hold you. It be blowing me because I would hear people, right? I was in a situation where I had a friend and she was like, oh, they real cocky. And I didn't feel like the other person was really cocky. I just felt like they was very confident in how they carried themselves. They never put no one else down. You get what I'm saying? And they poured into others when others needed it. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see the cockiness. You know what I'm saying? I feel like confidence is when you're good, you're great, and I want others to be great too. Because I know there's room out here for everybody. You get what I'm saying? Cockiness is when you want to be the center. You want to be the center and nobody could do it like you because you got it, So please don't confuse the two. But anyways, peace and blessings to everyone. And I hope you took something from this video. Doing these videos, oh my gosh. Doing these videos is very therapeutic for me as well. And it helps me to learn a lot more about myself. So I'm not just on here telling everybody like what to do or how to do it, because I'm still learning myself. You know what I'm saying? But, if you could take some pointers and it help you, great.